Yo, what is up, rocket nerds? Welcome back to Rocketry, the channel that's basically rocket fuel straight to your brain. If you're new here, smash subscribe right now, because today we're ending the one question that blows up my comments every single week. Why didn't SpaceX just slap some ablative heat shield on Starship like every normal spacecraft and call it a day? Because let's be real, watching those black hex tiles glow lava orange while the ship screams in at 17,000 miles per hour, you're sitting there thinking, dude, Apollo figured this out in 1969 with a giant charcoal briquette. Why are we doing arts and crafts with 18,000 bathroom tiles? Buckle up, because by the end of this 18-minute monster, you're gonna know exactly why Elon looked at 60 years of NASA tradition, laughed, and said, hard pass. And yeah, I'm dropping the one unsolved problem that still makes him stare at the ceiling at 3 a.m. Let's roll. Picture 2033. You're sipping recycled coffee inside a Mars habitat dome. The Starship that just landed beside you is the same exact ship that was doing tanker runs in Earth orbit last month. It lands, robots pump in 2.6 million pounds of methalox, and 24 hours later it's blasting off again to pick up the next wave of colonists. No 6-month overhaul, no army of technicians, just gas and go like a Falcon 9 on steroids. That dream dies the second you choose ablative. Cold, hard numbers time. Dragon's Pika X shield, SpaceX's own fancy ablative, loses 440 to 660 pounds every single reentry. That's 2 big suitcases of heat shield turning into smoke. Now scale that to Starship. 2.6 million pound dry mass coming home from Mars at 29,000 miles per hour. You're looking at 18,000 to 26,000 pounds of ablative you have to respray between every flight. That's 13 tons per mission. Cost? 50 to 100 million bucks just for the material. Turnaround? 3 months in a clean room while dudes in bunny suits repaint it with what's basically a giant hot glue gun. That's not rapid reuse. That's a disposable Lamborghini you torch after every lap.
Elon knew this back in 2018. He basically said, if we go ablative, we can kiss Mars goodbye and just keep launching rich tourists to the ISS forever. So why did NASA swear by ablative for 6 decades? Because it's bulletproof for throwaway capsules. Apollo, Mercury, Gemini, Dragon, Orion, every one of them. The heat turns the outer layer into charcoal, the charcoal flakes off, and 90% of the energy rides away on the wind, ship lives. You don't care that it looks like a burnt toaster because it's never flying again. Starship has to fly 100 times, 1,000 times. Elon wants the first Mars ships to spend 2 years doing Earth orbit refueling runs, then load colonists, shoot to Mars, land, make fuel with ISRU, and fly home. That's 4 brutal reentries on the exact same vehicle. With ablative, you'd need a heat shield thicker than the hole itself. Physically impossible. And yes, I hear you yelling, what about the space shuttle? They tried reusable tiles and it was a total disaster. Exactly. And Elon memorized every page of that horror story. Shuttle stats that still give me nightmares: 24,000 tiles, glued on by hand, 20,000 man-hours per mission just on heat shield, 6 to 9 month turnaround, $300 million per orbiter per year in tile bills, 120 pounds per square foot of tile system weight, and still, Columbia died because one piece of foam knocked off 16 tiles. 16! Elon printed the Columbia report, highlighted every failure in neon yellow, and said we're not doing a single thing the same. So here's what they built instead. Starship's tiles are next-level witchcraft. Silica fibers so light they float, less than 13 pounds per cubic foot. Coated with borosilicate glass mixed with molybdenum disilicide so they radiate heat like a supernova. That black color? That's the tile screaming infrared straight into space, dumping heat faster than a render farm. 18,000 identical hexagons, $30 each once the factory's screaming, attached with mechanical pins, no glue. Gaps left on purpose so they can swell to 2,550 degrees Fahrenheit without cracking. And starting ship 33, they slipped a secondary ablative layer underneath, silicon-impregnated felt that only wakes up if a tile actually bails. It's the ultimate oh shit parachute. Total heat shield mass, 18,000 to 22,000 pounds, less than 1% of the vehicle. Apollo's was 15%. Math time. Dragon, new Pika X every 10 flights, 20 to 30 million bucks. Starship goal, replace maybe 1,000 tiles per flight at $30 each, 30 grand total. Robots scan it, robots swap the bad ones, done in 48 hours. That's 1,000 times cheaper. 1,000! But here's where it almost went sideways. Flight 4, May 2024. One flap turned into modern art. Plasma found a gap the size of a quarter and started eating steel like it was cotton candy. Elon tweeted at 2 a.m., "We are not resilient to loss of a single tile in most places." Internet exploded. Told you, tiles suck. Fast forward to Flight 10, August 28, 2025, SpaceX did something absolutely mental. They ripped tiles off on purpose, left bare steel naked to plasma, flew it anyway. The ship came home looking like it lost a cage match with a blast furnace, orange, red, glowing, but the structure held, the backup blade of layer turned snow white, did its job, and the 1/8-inch thick stainless steel underneath survived 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Elon's exact words, "Red is oxidized metallic test tiles, white is ablative where we remove tiles on purpose. Heat shield tiles almost entirely stayed attached." For the first time ever, we have video proof that a hybrid reusable plus backup ablative system can survive orbital reentry even when tiles yeet themselves into the Indian Ocean. Flight 10 was the "we told you so" 7 years in the making, because now tanker ships can do 10 refueling runs in a month. Cost to orbit crashes below $10 a pound, a fleet of 100 Mars ships before 2040 stops being sci-fi and becomes an Excel spreadsheet. But here's the one thing still keeping Elon up at night. December 2024, quote, straight from the man, "The biggest remaining technology challenge for Starship is a fully and immediately reusable orbital heat shield. Land, refill, launch again with zero refurbishment or laborious inspection." Right now they still spend 2 to 3 days laser scanning every tile after landing. That's the bottleneck. They're building TileBot, robotic arms that will crawl the ship like a metal spider and swap tiles in hours. If they nail that in 2026, Starship becomes the DC-3 of spaceflight. If they don't, we're stuck doing Falcon 9 forever. So here's the deal. If you want to watch every insane step of this journey, the first tower catch, the first TileBot in action, the first ship that flies to orbit twice in 1 week, smash that subscribe button and slam the bell. We drop these monster deep dives every single Thursday. Also, follow us on Facebook because we break down rocket science in the simplest, most exciting way possible. Link in the description. Drop a comment right now. 2026, do we see a Starship fly twice in 24 hours? Yes or no? Best answers get pinned. This is Rocketry, where we don't just watch the future, we reverse engineer it. See you in the next one.